Whenever we want to achieve something in our lives, we either desire something or it's because we don't want to lose something. So we are in fear of losing something. So either we want to achieve something or we don't want to lose something. That is the reason why we go for something in our lives. We have 7 levels of existence as human beings: body, breath, mind, memory, intellect, self, and ego. A lot of people move from desire into ambition. Ambition becomes a place where you are just doing things for your own benefit. I bumped into the terror barrier big because whenever you set out goals or targets for your business, they normally stem from either a desire or a fear. Whenever we want to achieve something in our lives, we either desire something or it's because we don't want to lose something. So we are in fear of losing something. So either we want to achieve something or we don't want to lose something. That is the reason why we go for something in our lives, right? So I want you to understand that desire is based on what it is that you want to achieve, right? So go for what it is that you really want to achieve. Don't go for something just because you don't want to lose anything in return of it, right? For instance, if you open a business today and you make a decision that I have to earn a certain amount of revenue, and then you continue that for a while, but then after a few years you feel like I don't even want to run that business, but then you are in fear of losing your reputation, that you built behind that business. So are you going to still continue running that business simply because you are in fear of losing the reputation, the brand that maybe you built behind that business? So I really want you to contemplate within yourself, where is this coming from? Is it a true desire or is it a fear of losing something, right? Now, I want you to understand that we exist on 7 levels. We have 7 levels of existence as human beings, all right? So I'm going to mention all of them, but then I'm going to talk about one particular one that actually brings about desire and fear, all right? So the 7 levels of existence that we have are body, breath, mind, memory, intellect, self, and ego. So I really want you to focus on the self and the ego. And this is something that I learned from my spiritual master, by the way, right? This is something that really changed the trajectory of my life and how I look at situations and how I look at everything that I'm doing in my life. So if you look at self and ego, now ego is the level of existence that actually creates a lot of separation for you in your life. Now, ego is not always bad because it also drives you forward. It helps you achieve whatever it is that you want. So when we talk about ego, this is where the desire and the fear comes from, right? So ego at the same time can actually propel you forward. It can bring about your desire in terms of what it is that you really want to achieve, let's say in your business, but it can also create a lot of fear in you that I don't want to lose XYZ, right? I don't want to let go, and that is why I need to do something, right? So whenever you are doing something in your business, you want more clients, you want more income, you want more revenue, you want a larger team, really sit down with yourself and give it a thought that am I coming from a place of true desire, from a place of expansion, or am I coming from a place of fear of not wanting to lose something? Right? So do you really want to expand your income because you want to create more impact? Do you want to have larger teams so you can create more impact, which would qualify as a desire? Or are you acting from fear that now I've built my company, I don't want to lose the revenue that I've been making, I don't want to lose my brand reputation, I don't want to let go of everything that I have achieved so far? So that would be coming from a place of fear. Now, another thing that I really want to mention here is ambition. Now, what happens is that a lot of people move from desire into ambition. So, desire is a good thing because it helps you create a bigger impact. There's also benefit of other people when you're in the state of doing something from a place of desire. But when it shifts into ambition, now ambition becomes a place where you are just doing things for your own benefit. You're not even thinking about the other party. You're not thinking of the larger benefit. So you're only pursuing what it is that you want, right? And there is not much benefit, or you're not really putting other people in perspective. So really think about this. Are you coming from a place of desire, fear, or ambition? Where is this coming from. Now, I also want to just give my example in terms of how this drove my life in the past, right? So now currently, everything I do is from a place of desire, right? Because I want to create impact. I help transform people's lives and businesses. I help you achieve the number of clients that you desire. I help you achieve your revenue target. So when I talk about desire, I'm coming from a place of how am I going to benefit you? How am I going to create bigger impact? How is this going to help you going further? And this is what actually fulfills me. So when we talk about desire, it comes to a place where you feel fulfilled, all right? But when we talk about ambition, now I remember when I was in the corporate world, I think I was more ambitious than being coming from a place of desire, because when I joined the corporate world, my aim was to actually climb the corporate ladder, earn a certain amount of money, have a certain car, live in a certain home, etc. I think these are very common goals that everybody has. But because it was coming from a place of ambition, I started losing myself. I started having sleepless nights. I started experiencing burnout because I was coming from a place of I want to achieve this. This is for me. It's for my benefit. What is it that I want? It was not coming from a place of how am I going to benefit people at a larger scale? How am I going to add value to somebody else's life? Right? So when I moved into my coaching business, my state completely shifted from a place of coming from ambition into moving into desire. So I really want you to understand, like, sit with yourself and really contemplate. Are you coming from a place of ambition? Are you coming from a place of desire or fear? Now, when we talk about fear, you might be, let's say if you're in a job, for instance, right, you might be carrying on with this particular position, with this particular job, because you are in fear that if I don't have this job anymore, I'll not be earning the amount of money that I'm earning. I'm not going to be holding that status, right? Because people are very afraid when they go out there in society. They feel like, what am I going to tell people? That what am I doing now? So I'm going to lose my status, because if I don't have this position, I don't have a certain car, I'm not living in a certain home, how am I going to face the society? How am I going to go into my social group, right? So I really want you to sit down with yourself and ask yourself, what's really driving your business? What's really driving your life? What's driving your goals? Are you coming from a place of desire? This is what you really want, and I want to create a bigger impact. How is it going to benefit others? Or is it ambition? Right? It's all about me. It's I, me, and myself. Or is it coming from a place of fear that I do not want to lose XYZ in exchange for what I do? Now, I remember, when I transitioned from my corporate job into my consulting practice, I definitely came across a lot of fear. I bumped into the terror barrier big because I was afraid that I'm not going to have consistent income. Right? I'm going to change my identity, whereas people are not going to be able to accept me as a consultant in my social group. And I remember for me, my family was the biggest fear, that what are they going to say? What are they going to think about me? Are they going to ask me questions about what I do? I didn't even have the confidence of talking about what it is that I really do until I think about 2 years into my practice. And then that's when, after I started opening up about what it is that I really do. So I was coming from a place of fear. So I was not putting myself out, and that was actually impacting my desire as well, because I wanted to create a bigger impact, but I was not able to articulate clearly what it is that I do, and I was hiding behind the curtain of my consulting practice, that I don't want people to know what I'm really doing. So I would tell people that yes, I've started this new thing, and I would not really be clear on what I'm doing, but if I feel like it's somebody I don't really know, then I'd open up to them and start telling them what it is that I do. So this is my message here for you today, that anything that you're trying to achieve in your life, in your business, right? Where is it coming from? Because what's going to happen, if it's not coming from a place of true desire, right, then you're going to end up abandoning it the minute you face a challenge. And that's what happens to us when we are very ambitious, or we are doing something from a place of fear, and we face challenges, then we abandon it as soon as we face the first hurdle. So really ask yourself, where are you coming from? Because when you come from a place of a bigger vision, which follows your desire, then you'll be able to expand into a space that you have never imagined before. And I want to be very honest with you here today, that I've been in my business for the last 4 years, but I'm not where I exactly want to be in terms of something I call my C goal. something that's come from the deepest levels of my imagination, but I have not abandoned my practice. Why? Because I have a bigger vision. It's coming from a place of a true desire, that yes, I want to create an impact on a certain number of people, so I'm not going to stop until I get there. In fact, I'll go even beyond that. I know myself. So ask yourself, the business that you are running, the clients that you want, the revenue that you are targeting, are you doing it from a place of fear, desire, or ambition? Because this will help you determine how far you can go. So if you are somebody who resonated with this video, do share it with others, and do get in touch with me if you want to start building your business from a place of true desire and vision.